In the seemingly ordinary city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a tale of unimaginable horror was about to unfold. The year was 1960, and on May 21st, a child named Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born to Lionel and Joyce Dahmer. Little did they know that their son would grow to become one of the most notorious serial killers in history. Welcome back to Secret Trails. Today we delve into one of the darkest chapters in American criminal history, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey's childhood, while outwardly normal, held subtle hints of the darkness to come. As a young boy, he became fascinated with animal bones, collecting roadkill and dismembering the creatures in his backyard. This morbid curiosity, coupled with his parents' tumultuous relationship and eventual divorce, laid the groundwork for a troubled psyche. As Dahmer entered adolescence, his inner demons began to surface. He struggled with alcoholism from an early age, often appearing drunk at school. His sexuality, repressed and confused, became intertwined with violent fantasies. These destructive thoughts would simmer for years before finally boiling over into a horrific reality. In 1978, just weeks after his high school graduation, Dahmer committed his first murder. His victim was Steven Hicks, a 19-year-old hitchhiker. This act opened the floodgates to a 13-year reign of terror that would claim 16 more lives. Dahmer's modus operandi was as calculated as it was cruel. He frequented gay bars and malls, targeting young men, often from minority communities. With promises of money, drugs, or sexual encounters, he lured them back to his grandmother's house or his apartment on North 25th Street in Milwaukee. Once inside, Dahmer's true nature revealed itself. He would drug his victims, usually with sedatives mixed into their drinks. Then, in a twisted ritual, he would strangle them to death. But for Dahmer, death was just the beginning of his horrific acts. In a level of depravity that defies comprehension, Dahmer engaged in necrophilia with the corpses. He meticulously dismembered the bodies, often keeping gruesome trophies such as skulls or genitalia. Perhaps most shocking of all, he admitted to cannibalizing parts of his victims, driven by a perverse desire to keep them with him forever. As the body count rose, so did the questions. How could such evil persist undetected for so long? The answer lies in a perfect storm of institutional failures and societal prejudices. Milwaukee police, tragically, had several encounters with Dahmer that could have ended his killing spree. In 1991, officers responded to a call about a naked, bleeding 14-year-old boy seen running from Dahmer's apartment. Dahmer convinced the officers that the boy was his 19-year-old lover and that they'd had a drunken argument. The officers left, and Dahmer murdered the boy, Konorak Synthasamphone, shortly after. This incident highlighted the systemic issues within law enforcement and society at large. Homophobia and racism played a role in the officers' decision to leave a Laotian boy in the hands of a white man. The police's failure to thoroughly investigate reports of foul odors and strange noises from Dahmer's apartment further allowed his crimes to continue. Dahmer's reign of terror finally came to an end on July 22, 1991. Tracy Edwards, intended to be Dahmer's 18th victim, managed to escape and flag down 2 police officers. When they investigated Dahmer's apartment, they discovered a house of horrors that would shock the nation. The trial that followed was a media sensation. Dahmer was found guilty of 15 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms. In court, he expressed remorse for his actions, stating, "I know my time in prison will be terrible, but I deserve whatever I get because of what I have done. I should have stayed with God." Dahmer's life behind bars was short-lived. On November 28, 1994, he was beaten to death by Christopher Scarver, a fellow inmate at the Columbia Correctional Institution. The legacy of Jeffrey Dahmer's crimes extends far beyond the immediate horror of his actions. It forced a reckoning with issues of race, sexuality, and police conduct in America. It highlighted the vulnerability of marginalized communities and the need for better support systems for at-risk youth. Moreover, Dahmer's case has been the subject of countless psychological studies, as experts attempt to understand the factors that can create such a monster. His troubled childhood, his struggles with sexuality and addiction, and his profound mental illness all played a role in shaping the man he became. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Dahmer case is how it reveals the potential for evil that can lurk behind a seemingly ordinary facade. Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't a shadowy boogeyman. He was a neighbor, a coworker, a grandson. What do you think about Jeffrey Dahmer? Comment your thoughts below. Please like, share, and subscribe to Secret Trails.